My guest is Douglas Jackson, and Doug is the Arts and Culture Coordinator for the City of Roanoke. We're here at the Elmwood Park Art Walk to talk about art in Roanoke. Tell us what that program is. What's it about?
Well, Art in Roanoke is our temporary sculptural exhibition, and we have done this. Well, we're doing our 6th round of it. So every couple of years or so, we'll invite artists from around the country and locally to submit art to go on the Elmwood Art Walk.
Okay.
And we get to experience it for a couple of years.
So the process is people submit applications. How does that work?
We put a call out, and this time we had 56 artists propose work on the theme Reimagining Roanoke.
Okay.
So we really wanted people to think about how our community is always transitioning, how it's transitioned from the past to today, and what we might be like in the future.
We'll talk about some of the pieces that are installed, and the one behind us here. Just kind of mention some of those and what they're about.
Yeah, well, Charlie Brower did Winged Victory, and you can tell it's a star with wings behind it. And he used, I should say too, that we asked the artist to repurpose materials for this piece, for this work. And he worked with a lumber yard. He's a Floyd County artist, and he worked with a lumber yard and got scraps from a sawmill and pieced those together. And people in the community are very familiar with Charlie's work. He's had pieces in our shows before, and a few years ago did an installation at the Taubman where everyone contributed ladders, and we built a community sculpture with ladders.
Wow. What's some of the other ones?
So we have an artist out of New York, Beatrice Carone, and she created a sculptural flower. And it's a pretty beautiful flower, I think. It's made of steel and repurposed steel. And if you look closely, you'll see many images of Roanoke that are cut into the petals of the flower. So you'll see the star, and you'll see an airplane from the airport, and you'll see the Crillian Hospital, and you'll see Oscar Michaud, the filmmaker, and Oliver Hill. Yeah,
that's cool.
So a lot of familiar scenes from Roanoke.
How long will these pieces be here, Douglas?
We're going to have these up for 2 years.
Okay, and it's a great place for them to be, right? Lots of visibility here.
It really is. And if you came down during the marathon weekend, you saw how the marathon was set up right here on the Art Walk, and it was a terrific place to be with lots of people, and you saw people looking at the art. It's a nice hub. When they redid Elmwood Park in 2015 or so, they created the Art Walk. We had done this show prior to that, and always put art around neighborhoods.
I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, so this year we're starting to do a little bit of a mix. We're calling it an extended mix.
Okay.
So we actually have a site-specific piece that's out at Hollins University. We have a piece on the Greenway, and we've also included some pieces in this show from our permanent collection from out in Vic Thomas Park in the Ann Davey Masters Sculpture Garden.
Why do you think it's so important to our community to have public art like this?
Well, wow, it's important for any number of reasons. One is art lets us put our fingerprint on the world around us. So it was a civic panel that chose the art for this. That's one way. It's important to see ourselves in the art that's put in public spaces. It can make us stop and think, reflect on the world around us. I'm a big fan, and I get different things from it. Sometimes art can provide just a little space that's outside of the ordinary, just on the day you need it.
Right, and for people who are watching, remind us how the public art is funded in the city of Roanoke.
We have what's called a Percent for Art Fund, and 1% of most of our capital projects is dedicated to public art. So that way, when we have a building, we can put two-dimensional art on the walls in the building, or we can incorporate functional art into the building, or we can put a pad in front of the building, say the new fire station, and put a big dog on it. And everybody loves Trojan Dog by Ann Glover.
Anything we didn't mention that you wanted to include in?
One thing that's important about this, we have a mix of both national artists and regional artists, and that was really important to the committee. I just mentioned Trojan Dog, and I will say that started through a temporary exhibition.
That's right.
So Anne first made it in plywood and marine paint, and then now it's re-envisioned or reformed with a 65-year life. So we also see this as a way of encouraging local artists to do outdoor sculptural work and help them in their path. So we're excited about some new artists who we haven't worked with before, who are local, who have works in this collection.
Great. If somebody who's watching wanted to know more about our public art program, how could they get that information?
We have a website that we try to keep updated, and it's roanokearts.org.
Okay, well, very exciting, and thank you for sharing it with us.
Thank you.
Okay.